So Jenny asks, what happens if you don't draw with a dip pen, Kieran? What happens? Shall we find out? If I draw with a brush pen. Let's find out. Well, welcome back. And today I've been asked to do things a little bit different. Today I've been asked to draw in a different style, just to break things up. Maybe not drawing a dip pen, maybe drawing some other style or some other way of drawing. And I thought maybe I would work on this idea that I've been doing these teaching with a process of drawing that is with kind of balls and sausages and this C and this S and this I type of lines, and to see how my own teaching could be brought into a drawing. Now, as always, there's nothing planned. It's just a white piece of paper and two weapons today. A Bic biro and some kind of brush pen. Brands and stuff like that don't matter. In fact, I do find that people have been getting very kind of sensitive about why are you using that nib? Why did you not use a straight nib? Why did you use a curved nib? Why did you use a... If you've watched a lot of mine, I pick up a pen and I think, oh, it's this nib. I don't get too technical into the tools, because I do feel that a lot of that magic comes from the artist. Whether he's picking up a piece of charcoal, or he's picking up a brush pen, or he's bringing up a brush, or he's bringing up a pencil, or whatever. That comes from you. So today I'm going to just loosen up and I'm going to draw something here. Now, Jenny is the one that's asked me, and at the end of her question she's kind of said, like drawing a gargoyle or something. Like, what? I don't even know what a gargoyle is. Some kind of monstery little creature, I think. So let's start with a monstery little creature. And I will try with the Bic pen doing some sketching, because usually there's never a plan, there's never a rough, there's never anything. And today I'm going to just show you a different method and a different way of drawing, and I'm going to sketch it out with this, and I'm going to ink it out with the brush pen. So here we go. Let's start off with some shapes. I'm just going to start off with some nice kind of big circular shapes, trying to get into something a bit of fun. As you can see, it's just circles, and I'm trying to get this kind of hunched over type of feeling to him. So I'm just going to do some straights, and I'm going to get a nice kind of little curved back to him, into a nice kind of circular body. There's a big circle there, and then another big circle there for his... That's his chest. That's his neck. That's his chest coming up there. And that's his stomach area and his butt area. And, you know, you could even break down to under, because the stomach kind of hangs over the kind of pelvic part. So you could even draw another imaginary kind of pelvic part at that point. And from that pelvic point, why I say draw the pelvic part is because I find that the pelvic part helps you, because the stomach hangs over, and a lot of people draw the legs kind of attached to the belly, and it kind of makes it look a little bit deformed. So if you kind of have a kind of pelvic circle here, and you bring your legs in, something like that, let's give them nice big feet, then you can kind of see that the body of it will come in. The pelvic part will come much under where the stomach is hanging over, which is what we're going to have here. We're going to have that big stomach hanging in there. And again, you can do that with your shoulder. You can kind of have a shoulder on that side and you can have a shoulder on this side. And you can basically do your sausages or your sticks, whichever you want to call them. And you can do it up to a rather large hand. And you can just rough in that hand from basically a circle point into some sausage fingers. And I generally try to draw it in a way that you can group those and have one finger out, and because especially for some people that get very nervous about drawing hands. The other hand, maybe I'll do it in a kind of a pointing type of thing, maybe something like this. Maybe he's kind of like pointing to something, so we could have a finger down like that and the hand coming in. Maybe have his thumb on that side and the hands coming up. There you are. That's a rough type of sketch. Now, as I was explaining to you about structure of the head, as like if you've got a head, you can kind of put it in the middle, and from that you can add eyes either side, and that's exactly what I'm going to do there. I'm going to bring in my eyes so that, let's give him a bit bigger eyes, give him a bit of a googly eye. And then from the center, you can bring out the nose, whatever you're going to do with the nose. And we can do that again with our kind of jaw. And that's just a fun way. We don't really know. From the side, just behind where the eye is, we'll have our ears. We can add some big long ears if we wish. Something like that. And that's what we're going to do. So that's our kind of rough. It's a nice way of kind of playing with a circle for a head, a circle for the chest, a circle for the hips, a circle for the stomach, and playing around with that. With the arms, we're going to sausage, a ball for a joint, a sausage, a ball for a joint, a ball for a hand, some sausages for fingers. We're just playing on some basics. And in this way, we can start to have a lot of fun. Okay? And please go back to those earlier lessons where I'm trying to break things down in a very simplified form. And I think the simplified form gives you confidence. In my opinion, it gives you confidence because all I'm drawing is a circle. For example, like with the eyes, okay? That's my eye. That's just my eye. It's just a big circle and another big circle there. You know? You can just kind of circle it and rough it in. Excuse me. So, we are now going to just take our brush pen. Nothing special about that brush pen, as you can see. It's just a brush pen. But we're going to feel the weight with the brush, with the tip of the brush. Look, can you see that? Where's that camera? You can see that it has a very thin point, and it goes from a thin point up into a fat body. Now, if you use that as a guide to how your line is going to be, the gentler you touch it, the thinner the line, and the more you push it, the thicker the line. So as you're drawing, your hand will be going thin, thick, thin. See, it's touching, thin, and pushing down on the paper will be thicker. So the lighter you draw, the lighter the line. The harder you push, the thicker the line. The more the ink will come out. Okay? So, let's have a bit of fun. Okay? We're going to start with our eye, just because, why not? And I'm going to kind of give him a nice thick underlie. I'm just going to gently look at how gently I'm drawing those lines on there. I'm just trying to give him some nice wrinkly eyes. And from on top of that, I'm going to do a nice thicker eye. And that's what we're trying to build up on there with this character. We can do some nice little gentle wrinkles on his skin. And on the nose, I want to try and, I'm not sure kind of what a gargoyle's nose would be, but let's try and make it a little bit kind of like some kind of demon type, you know. Just trying to give him some big long kind of nostrils of sort. And we can add some little, see the lovely thing about a brush is you can touch it, you can just flick it, get these really nice little lines. Here's my nice thick line. We're going to go in there and get some nice lines. I'm going to go in. And you can see how this is coming across in a very gentle line work. And I'm just going to add a little bit more of an expression to him, a bit more kind of with these kind of big, and again gently with the wrinkles on it. I'm just kind of drawing those in. And these wrinkles, as I'm touching very, very, very gently, you can start to see how it's working. You can start to see how he's starting to have these very thin wrinkles across his head. And that's just by touching ever so gently. Like that. So I'm going to try to bring in the eye. I'm just going to blacken that in, and I might even give him an outer colour for his eye, just because it's the thick and the thin with this brush pen. And the only thing I have against these kind of brush pens is sometimes they dry up very quickly. That's why I've got a couple of them somewhere. There's another one there. That's why I usually have a couple of my pens sitting around just in case. Now I'm just going to try and bring just under here, like this kind of cheekbone part here, and I'm going to bring it up nice and thick and then nice and thin. Give him that expression up there. You see that? And this is this kind of gargoyle, this kind of whatever your man's called in Lord of the Rings. What's that little googly guy? Ah, precious, oh my precious. What's he called? Yeah, him. Something like that, you know. And we bring that little mouth down and bring it up. I give him a big kind of, I'm going to give him some big teeth there. And please remember that these drawings are just for fun, okay? I'm sitting here and I haven't planned anything out. I'm just drawing for the whole pleasure of drawing, you know. There he is. And remember that these brush pens, they're water based. So if you put any watercolor on top, it'll just bleed all over the place. Just get his cheeks in there from his smiling. There they are. Coming up like that. He's not looking too bad. And we're going to bring that in there. And now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to keep a little bit of a balance here going with my thick and my thin and my thick and my thin. Pushing hard down. Gently, gently, gently. Gently with the little lines. And there we have it. So we can start to see that his structure of his face. Just trying to give him a little bit of a thick, lumpy type of face to him. Let's go in there and touch up a few of those. And that kind of gives us this feeling of him being quite a warty, lumpy, spotty type of chinned creature, just by putting in these little dimples of, and that's a very gentle thing. Back to our thing about C, just putting a little C, adding a big C here, a C there and a C there and lots of C's, and it's just building up. Go back to that lesson. Let's see where the C, S and I fall into this. Find out where the circles and the switches fall into this drawing. And you will find that you're just having these curved lines just coming up. And the same again underneath, a little C. And then another big flowing line. And these are just basically giving us a very nice feeling. Starting with the thick and then easing off. Starting with the thick and then gently, like that. Okay, so that's our kind of ears coming up there, and we can do another ear on the other side. And that's our face, starting to fall into shape. And this is all without planning. It's just like us doing a big C on the back of his head. Look at that. And as you see this starting to actually fall into shape, you can actually start to think about the shadowing, the shading of it, the color of it as you're going along. As you're drawing the ear, you're thinking about shading the ear. And you're thinking about all these things to get you excited about your drawing. Now, I've given him a very long neck here because I want this. Maybe it's a little bit too thin there, so I might thicken out the neck. But let's just see how it comes from. Bringing that right up into the body. And I'm going to thicken up that neck a little bit. Just simply because it will look, in proportion, it might look a little bit odd. There we are. And that's our neck. And we can go in and we can do some construction things there. Once you get into your body, you can kind of do these big kind of lines that come up the neck, maybe. Stuff like that. Okay, so we're coming up to the shoulders. The shoulders is going to be a circle, basically a C and a C. The body is a circle, a rough circle that we've drawn, and we're going to go C and C. So there's our first C coming up here, the shoulder. On the other side. On this side we've got this shoulder, and we're going to be going in and we're going to be doing a C. There we are. Simple. Look at that. Another C there. And what this is doing is it's giving us confidence. And it's building our confidence by speaking the word C. I'm going to draw a C. I'm going to draw an I. I'm going to draw another C. And here we come with another C. Look at this on his back. This big one here. I'm going to stop. I've had an idea. But I'm going to add little wings on here just to kind of add it out. But that would be a line that I would draw all the way around as a big C. And I'm just going to add, I don't know where this idea has come from, but just as I was coming around, it'd be cute if I could draw some little thick. Then, now with all the feather ends here, what we're going to do is we're going to do it nice and gently, nice and light. And then the body of the wing, the hard part, the shoulder part, the muscle part, we're going to go heavy. Here's the heavy part here. We're going in heavy. We're going to flick it. And all this is just going to be soft and light. We're going to get this feeling that he's got like these little delicate wings. And we're just going to put little C's. C, 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 C. And we can go in and touch up some of those lines if we think they're too light. And remember, because all we're doing is we're doing this very, very gentle kind of construction here, you can draw along with me. You could draw this whole thing. Get to a point, run it back. Get to a point, run it back. And you could draw this. I'm just going to draw another big copy of that shape. And I'm going to go in and draw some little feathers, little C shapes. And when we do our shading, we might shade this one a little bit darker because it's in the behind. So now I can follow that C all the way down on his back. So we've got some really nice things going on here. So the body, I want to give him a little bit of a chest area, which is going to be very small. And I'm just going to drop it in there, almost kind of giving him some little kind of man boobs, okay? Yeah, I think it's okay to say man boobs. I gotta be so careful these days. And we're going to go into the arm structure. As we've been going through with these lessons, I've been talking about some very, very simple things. A ball for the shoulder, a sausage for the arm, another ball joint, another sausage, another ball for the hand, sausages for the fingers. Breaking these things down into very, very simple forms. And here we go. That's his arm. And I'm bringing that down. And I'm going to give him a little ball joint here, which is going to be his elbow. And I'm going to bring that brush up there. So you can see how this is beginning to work out. We're going to be doing his hand, and we're going to just keep that. That's basically a circle for the structure of the hand. That whole piece there is just like we're drawing a big ball, and then we're adding these things off. A little ball for a knuckle if you want to get really detailed with it. Let's draw a little ball knuckle there, and you got the arm, the hand coming in, and you can do a little straight line, and you can do a little knuckle. We'll do some little lines in there. A little straight, and a big ball finger there. You draw his little fingers on there, and that's basically just building these structures of a sausage, a ball, a sausage, a ball. You see how it's starting to work? That whole hand now is going ball, ball, sausage, ball, sausage, ball. Very simple structure. And if yours doesn't look like mine, even better. Okay? This is your version of this. And what I want you to start to do is I want you to start to say, well, if you've drawn a finger, I want you to stop and I want you to say, it's your finger. It's my finger. I drew it that way. Kieran drew it like that. That's my finger. And make yourself proud. Make yourself feel good about this drawing. Make yourself feel like you've got the power, okay? You're just seeing what Kieran's doing. What. But my gargoyle, it looks like this. My gargoyle's hands look like this. Now I'm just going to get these fingers all kind of curled up and tucked in. So I kind of gets the feeling that he's kind of almost got like a fist going on there. He's just pointing with that one little finger. Okay, you can put a couple of little light lines there on his hand. Kind of makes these lines that you get down there. And we've got it. We've got most of it going on here. Now we've got a massive big C. He's got this big fat stomach, and that's going to be a big C. That's what we're going to be drawing. And we're going to bring it right up to where the hip is going to be a ball behind the stomach ball. You see where that is back there? And we're going to bring it all the way up to here. so we can get his legs in. So bring it from under his man boobs, and we're bringing him all the way around. Bringing it up there, tucking it up in there. We're going to give him a big belly button for fun. Okay, there's his big belly button there. And we're going to bring this line from this line here, we're going to follow this line round, and we're going to give him a little bit of a butt. Okay, so you can draw his butt, which is a nice little C shape, and then you're going to join that line like that. That's his butt. Okay. Now here's where we start to have the fun. We've done most of this now. We've done most of the difficult parts of this, and you've done this drawing, and you are going to start getting to the point where you can draw a leg. How are we going to draw a leg? How? Well, we've got a ball for a hip. Good. We've got a sausage for the thigh. Good. We've got a ball for the knee. Brilliant. Then what? Another sausage for the lower leg. A ball for the ankle. And another big fat squashed sausage for the foot. Amazing. You've done all this. Incredible. There it is, coming up, and I'm going to do my big ball kneecap here. There it is, and I'm going to give him a little bit of a wider feeling there, just because he's all the way down to his ankle. You can see that's kind of like his calf muscle there. I'm going to give him a little circular ankle here, and then I better draw it this way so you can see. And that's his foot coming around there. Like, just imagine you got a sausage that you're cooking and you just squash the sausage down. That's the foot. So you got skinny, squash that sausage, foot. You see how you're starting to break these things down into very, 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 very simple directions. And then at the end of that squash sausage, you're going to put a couple of little balls, and that's going to be the toes. Okay, so we're going to give him a big, fat, gnarly big toe there. And another little one. And another little one. They're just like C, C, C. Toenail, toenail, toenail. And even the toenail is like a little C. Bump, bump, bump. Put some lines over there to kind of give it like some kind of wrinkles. A couple of lines on there. Now we've got the other leg. The other leg is exactly the same as this one, except this one is behind the stomach. So as you see the stomach is hanging out, you're going to drop that in, and you're going to do a nice knee circle about there, and you're going to join that. You can imagine that joining onto the ball under the stomach, the hip ball. Now that's looking really cool. See your little leg back there? I'm going to draw that ankle. Put in our little indications, and then we're going to draw it up. And we're going to add that big gnarly toe on the front, the big toe. Then we're going to do a little C, little C, little C, little C. And then we're going to join that line up. And that's our toes and our toenails. Now that's mostly everything done with our gargoyle. Isn't that pretty incredible? You've drawn all this. You've thought this whole thing through. And you can just do some lines in there to draw some grass or whatever you want. You know. Kind of give him a feeling that he's on some kind of groundwork. Now, for this hand, you've got the ball of the hand. You're going to have a thumb, sausage. You're going to have sausage, 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 sausage fingers. So there's our hand ball there, and we're just going to draw our sausage finger out. We're going to kind of give it a little bit of a ball in the middle. I'm going to come back, and we're going to give him some little wrinkles on the inside of his hand. We're going to bring that other hand in. Give him some little wrinkles. So we're tucking that hand in. Do you see how we're playing this? We're doing it in very, very simple shapes. Another finger. we're going to do a big C shape and then a little C shape for the fingernail. Watch this, look. There's a big C. Come in round, and I'm going to do a little C, and that's my finger. Do some little detailed lines in there. And we're just going to go draw the thumb on there, same as the fingers. We're going to join it up. Give them a little C shape on there, and then we're just going to join that up, and then we're going to that line there is going up to that shoulder. You imagine that big sausage coming all the way down there to a ball that's the elbow, and out there for another sausage. Then you got the arm. So that's our arm all done. Isn't that cool? So now we already started with this little biro, and this little biro is kind of like a really powerful thing, because we're going to start to build some lighting. Okay, well, think about our lighting is up there. Our lighting is coming from this direction down. Okay, so we're going to start just shading in the nostrils. Is always a nice start. It's a nice safe start there. You see that? We'll do under the eyes, all that bags under his eyes. We'll start doing that. We'll start shading that in. And we'll just do some very, very, very light, almost like you're drawing little hairs or something. Very, very gently, 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 gently. And that's what you're building up, this light grey shadowing effect by just drawing them very, very lightly. You can draw them as fast or as slow as you wish. For me, I've got to draw them a little bit quickly because, I don't want people at the end of this video all sitting asleep, Was Kieran finished drawing yet? So, and there, just on the side there, because the light's coming down here on his nose, if you can see that if I put my nose to the light is hitting there. All this side here is all dark. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put in a little bit of shading just on that side of the, going up to where the eye is, and you can cross these. You can just do the shading a little bit more kind of crossed if you wish. On this side of the eye, you can also do a little bit of shading. And remember, this is a basic form of, let me just draw a ball. A ball. And the light is coming this direction. So basically, all of this side is going to be our shading. Now it looks like, you could almost even draw a shadow from the ball if you were really getting into it, getting fancy. But that's basically what it is. The light is coming in, the shadow's falling over there. So, everywhere on that side that you feel, and don't worry about being too technical here. We're just kind of learning this. We're just kind of feeling like, I think that this should be here. I feel like the light is coming down and I want my shadow to be a little bit here. And it will give you very gentle kind of confidence. You'll slowly start building. Well, there's the ball on the head. Okay, it's a ball. We did that as a rough sketch as a ball. We've now done our big C lines on there with our ink. Where's the shadow go? There. That's our guide. That down there is basically saying the light is hitting here and the shadow is falling on that side. So even on that side of the head, we could go in and we could do some gentle lines. And all I'm doing is just going tap 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 with the line, just very gently. Okay? And you can do it until it looks nice for you, And if you feel like you want to do some cross, instead of doing all your lines like that, you can do some little crossing. Basically, your lines are going that way, that way, that way, that way, that way, that way, that way. Sometimes that can also help by kind of giving the impression that it's darker than the lighter lines above it. And with that, you can see that this part closer to the ear is darker looking than the part that's lighter up, until you get to the light on top of the head, which is up there. Now, this ear is getting all the shadow basically, so I'm gonna just darken that in. In fact, I might even cross that one. And that's what's happening. We're starting to get this lovely, lovely feeling here. What about the chin? It would be nice if we could drop some light shading on there. Bring in a little bit of cross down there to kind of give it a darker feeling. Now you can see that this whole shadow thing is coming across 2 points. 2 points only. One is this guide of what side the light is on. The shadow is on that side. The light is on this side. Stick with that rule. And then you're just doing line, 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 line. Sometimes you will go cross, 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 cross. So all you're doing there is shadow, line, 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 line. So you're breaking it down into real simple things. So we're going to put a little bit of shadow under here with the arm. Just to give it that feeling that it's the furthest away. The same with the hand. We can put some shading in there. Put some shading across the fingers even. You see how this is becoming fun. It's like we're not really even thinking too much about it. It's just a fun process. And then the same there we can do with the neck. We've started to do the shadow there. And we can start to bring that in as a shadow. And if you feel you want to cross hatch it to give it a little bit of a darker feeling, please do. Because you're in control. You're the boss. Okay? You are the one that's doing this drawing. Okay, let's add some shadow in the ear. So we've got a nice dark inside of the ear. That's quite nice. Do you see how we're building this drawing up? We've done it from a very simple beginning up to something that's very controlled. We're going in there, we're doing our cross hatching. And that will give a feeling of the darker, distant wing. And we'll colour those little feathers in there because they're also in the distant. We'll colour in a little bit with the inside of that wing again, just to kind of give us a little bit of shadow effect. Now what we're trying to do here, obviously I'm going a little bit fast here at the moment because like I said, I don't want the video to be too long for people. But please, if you've got questions, if you've got anything you want me to go through and explain, feel happy, send me a message, ask me. I'm more than happy to help you. And there's our shadow on the body, all the way back there. Look at that. And I'm just doing this really like a very rough lines. Same on this side of the body. Don't need to do this because the light's hitting this side. And we draw that up. And we can shadow that down. And that's where everything's starting to fall, all on this side. All our cross hatching. The same with this leg here. I'm just going to bring it all in. I'm going to darken down that leg. But this is your control. This is your drawing. and you, wherever you want to put the, if you want to put the light from this side and draw it that way, you go for it. Okay? And that is basically a very, very, very fast way of showing you how to use the two pens. Nothing to do with my ink, nothing to do with my dip pen, nothing to do with all the splashing and throwing of ink. This is just a very gentle drawing of Jenny's gargoyle. You can even go in and put some light grass in there as well. Look at that. It gives a nice kind of dimension of the light hitting the grass across there. Cool. So Jenny's gargoyle. That's what we have drawn. And you can sit there and you can shade and put some shadow. Maybe put a little bit on the arm there as well. Maybe just a little touch just to help it. Maybe a little bit in between each finger just to kind of help that. Maybe put it on this side of the hand. Beautiful. On this side of the finger, a little bit on the thumb. Beautiful. So, what we've learned here from today is that it doesn't matter. It does not matter if I am drawing with this tool, or this tool, this biro tool, or if I'm drawing with this brush pen, which we did. The tool is irrelevant. You are not. You are the driving force on this. You are the thinking part of this. And you have drawn Jenny's, did I say Jenny? Jenny's gargoyle. And there he is. A very simple drawing. It looks complicated. It looks detailed. But you are the one who drew this. You are the one who did your C and your S and your I. Your C this way, your C that way, your I straight. You've done it all across this. And you have done all the shading, all the line shading. Sometimes line, cross, all across this drawing. And you can sit there like I'm sitting here and I'm going, oh, maybe a little bit more on the eye up there. That would look nice. Yeah, that looks quite nice. Oh, that looks nice there. That's quite, yeah. You know, you go on and shade it forever. Then once you start to throw your colour on, I can't put any colour on this because it's a water-based brush pen, and everything would bleed. But you could basically, I mean, I'll do it down here on this circle. You could basically see how you've done that. You could basically put in your brush, and you start colouring that in. You see how beautiful that would be if you went through and you coloured everything with your shadows. That's such a beautiful thing. And that is just a very, very simple procedure. So, today, with your knowledge of circles and sausages, with your knowledge of C's and S, C backwards, and I, you have drawn Jenny's gargoyle. You have shaded it, you have drawn it, you've done it all in the most basic, simplest thought process possible. And hopefully you've really enjoyed it. I have. So, thank you very, very, very much for watching today. Thank you very, very, very much for subscribing. Only 25% of you. 25%. I've got 18,700 views, which means you guys are watching the videos and then coming back and watching the videos and then coming back and watching a different video, and you're all watching and watching and watching, and you have to push the subscription button. Why? Because when I have the subscription buttons and I pass my 1,000 my 1,000 number, then I can start to do live videos. When I do live videos, that means while I'm drawing, you can be sending me a question saying, "Hey Kieran, what did you do? What did you do there by the wing? Oh, I did this." I didn't understand that. Could you tell me that again? Yeah, sure, no problem. And I can talk to you back and forward on these live drawings. That way, you and me are on the same page, drawing the same thing. You talking to me, you asking me questions. And I think that would help everybody. That's the goal. That's why we're hitting that 1,000 subscription. That's why I need your help. Okay? So, if you enjoyed the video, if you had fun, if you drew your gargoyle, I'm really proud of you. And if you enjoyed the video, subscribe. Okay? But, one thing for sure, I will see you again very, 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 very soon for another video. See you soon. Bye-bye.